Hello, welcome to April. Actually, it's March 31st at 8:28 p.m. There's Skeeter. Skeeter. There she is. There's Skeeter. She's like, "Why did you call my name?" Hi, sweetheart. Oh gosh, now she's going to come up here cuz she thinks I have food. Come here. There she is. Here's Skeeter to say hi and welcome to April. Now, I have the first two books right here already printed off. It's not food, Angel. It's not food. She wanted to smell it. But there they are. I'm going to be listening to mine on audio, and I'm going to be reading Death on the Danube on my Kindle. So my plan, let me let Skeeter go back down and lay in her bed. Well, she might be somewhere else. But anyway, my plan, as of right now, is to do 300. I acted like y'all could see that. 300 pages of mine and 64 pages of Death on the Danube tomorrow. So I will check in with y'all tomorrow night and let you know how it has gone. What I'm about to do is figure out on audio what is the equivalent of 300 pages. Like, how far into the audiobook do I need to be at 300 pages in the book? So I'm going to figure that out. And while I'm figuring that out, after I figure that out, my plan for tonight is at midnight, I'm going to start reading Death on the Danube. I want to read at least 20 pages tonight. Then that way, when I wake up tomorrow, I will only have 44 pages left to read. So I want to be on page 64 on Death on the Danube tomorrow night and 300 pages into mine tomorrow. So I am going to find out what that means audiobook wise, and I will check in with y'all tomorrow, maybe during the day. I am working quite a bit tomorrow until like 2 in the afternoon from pretty early in the morning. So I don't know when I'll be able to check in. Let me show you this. The two books that I'm reading, mine and Death on the Danube, are both attacks on Team Nala. So it looks like Team Nala is getting attacked first, which has zero to do with anything except that it's the longest book that I have on my list. And so I am reading it first. The bad news is Grady Hendrix' Witchcraft for Wayward Girls is next on my list, and it's on hold at the library, at Libby, on Libby. This is what is frustrating to me about Libby, or about using Libby and having to do a readathon. Let me come back over here. What's annoying is when I put these on my TBR 2 weeks ago, I checked them. Well, it must have been 3 weeks ago. I checked them all out on Libby because they were available on Libby. And I was like, oh, yay, great. And so I checked them out. And now it's been 21 days. They're all due like right now. And some of them have a hold on them. And I'm like, why were they available 3 weeks ago and now they have a hold on them? What? So here are the books in the order that I'm going to be reading them in. And for Grady Hendrix, I put a P on here because it's a physical book, but I'm not reading it physically. Yeah, it says 4-week hold. You are 117th in line. I started 238th in line. 60 copies in use, 201 people waiting in total. And I am in place 117. So this one has been on hold the whole time. It wasn't like on hold, available and then on hold. It's been on hold the whole time. It's just frustrating that it's a 4-week wait. And I need to read it like in 3 days. So I'm probably going to have to use a credit on Audible to listen to it, which makes me sad. The other books that are on hold, not Rolling in the Deep. Rolling in the Deep is on Audible Plus, like it's part of my audio subscription. Into the Drowning Deep is not on hold. I have it. I also think that I have Beartown. Let me double check. Yes, I have Beartown. That one was been on hold, but I just got it. And then the other J.R. Ward book. I have so many books checked out from the library, from Libby, that it's even hard for me to figure out where they all are. Where is this book? Okay, it's not on here. So now I'm a little bit worried. There's the last J.R. Ward book that I'm not even reading this month. I have it. Okay, well, I definitely have the first book. That's on here. So I need to look at The Beloved. Oh my gosh. Wait, I have Libby written down, but it's not even showing me that it's available as an audiobook. Oh, it is available as an audiobook. What? Okay, I can borrow it right now. No, I've reached my limit for borrows. Okay. Let's look and see. Okay, I'm still good. I can still borrow it. There we go. Okay, great. So it looks like that whole top row. Oh my gosh, y'all. I thought you were looking at this the whole time. Okay, the whole top row of books right here. It looks like, except for Grady Hendrix, everything else has been checked out, and I will have plenty of days to read them. The second row, we can worry about it as we get closer to the end of the top row, because either I have them or not. I have Mustard for 15 days, 15 more days. I have The Spell Shop for 15 more days. I have An Absolutely Remarkable Thing for 19 more days. The Maid Secret's not even out yet, but I've pre-ordered it. The Sinister Revenge I have for 20 more days. Okay, great. And then Meet Your Baker I already have on audio. So I have the first 2 rows handled. We're good to go on the first 2 rows. And then the other books over here on the physical side are handled because of the way I'm reading them, either physically or on my Kindle. So I think we're good. Except for Grady Hendrix, I think we're good, which that's okay. If I have to use a credit, 1 credit, at least it'll be for that book that I think I'm really going to enjoy. So I'm going to go figure out how many hours 300 pages is. I'm going to make a little note in my planner, because this is where I'm going to keep up with what my plans are. And then below it, I'm going to write what the actual, like how much I actually read. So like I said, will probably check in at some point tomorrow to let y'all know how things are going. And then I'll check in tomorrow night with an official, like, this is how far I got into my plan. So that is it. And I'll check in with y'all in a little bit. So, I have the Kindle in the background where I've been reading a little bit this morning of Death on the Danube. I am on page 27, but I do have to get to page 63 by tonight. Is that right? 64. That's going to be the hardest thing, y'all, is reading the physical books. However, let me show y'all some mail that I got. I'm not doing a book haul, like mid-month wrap-up book haul. So I thought as I got things, I would share them. So I got this one in the mail. This is the physical copy of the Buffalo Hunter. I love it so much, but it was so late and it made me kind of angry. But I love the sprayed edges and it's very cool. So I'm glad that I have it, because I've been getting all Stephen Graham Jones new releases physically so I can have a shelf of Stephen Graham Jones. Then, if you guys remember my NPR books, to pick the NPR books for Q2, I'm not reading this in April, but it came in with my dog eyes. And I read like the intro, which it's just a normal book. A little bit of it has some poetry in here, but otherwise it's a normal book. But the translator's introduction was incredibly interesting, and I was like, oh, I'm really excited about this. And it was like 6 pages of the introduction, but I read the whole thing. And so it's kind of a journalist who is losing their mind and they're writing about it. Anyway, that one is going to be read in either May or June. I don't know. And then also, guys, I ordered The Diary of Edward the Hamster. Look how cute it is. Also, like, it has pictures like this in some of it, and then it'll have like a 1-sentence diary entry and then a picture of a hamster. So, oh my gosh, the beginning of this says, translated from the original hamster. Oh my gosh. So funny. And also, this came out in 2012 is when it originally came out. And then this is the 10th anniversary edition. You can see it up here at the top, that came out in 2022. I'm so happy that I have this cute little book. I cannot wait. I said to my husband, I said, oh, I have this to read. And he said, why don't you just read it right now? Like, I think it'll take you 5 minutes. And I said, well, technically I can't, because it's not April 1st yet, which is Q2, but I'm also not reading this for any kind of readathon. I totally could have read this book yesterday yesterday when it came in the mail. So anyway, those are the only things I've gotten. They're the things that I have opened. If I get anything during the month of April, I will definitely open it and show you guys. There is a surprise thing that's coming that I can't show y'all, but I can show you the packaging, I guess, and tell you a little bit about it. And that's coming as well. My husband said it should be here soon. So, Death on the Danube, I'm 27 pages in, like I said, but I like it a little more than I thought I would. She is recently divorced, and she does spend a lot of time talking about her ex-husband, whose name is Ron. That's my husband's name. I think that's so weird, because usually there's not Rons in novels. That's not a common name that I have come across in a lot of novels, so that's weird. And then I'm reading Mine by J.R. Ward, and I was so excited to kick off the month back in the world of the Black Dagger Brotherhood, but it's not really in that world. It's kind of tangentially related to that world, and it's the third book of like a little trilogy spinoff thingy that she did, and it's about one couple. And if you've been here a long time, you know that I do not like multiple books about one couple, romance books. If it's a romance, let's wrap that thing up in one book and then give me another couple in the next book. And that's usually what J.R. Ward does. But in this woven nonsense where she's trying to get shifters like more front and center in the story, we've been following this one couple through 2 books, and now we're in the 3rd book, and I'm kind of over them. I don't even really like the 2 of them. Like, there's somebody else that kind of likes one of the people in the relationship, and I found myself going, they could be with that other person. Like, who am I? Normally, I'm like, absolutely not. You will stay where you are. But you know what? I don't really feel either one of them. So it is nice to be back with Jim Frangione. He's the guy that does all of the audiobooks for J.R. Ward. So I love hearing him read the story to me. But I'm not loving the actual story. So I'm about to head to work, and then I'm going to go walk. And while I do my walking, I'm going to be listening to my audiobook. So that will be nice, but I will probably have to walk inside because it snowed again. It's April 1st. That's not an April Fool's joke. It snowed today. So that's it. I'll check back in with y'all later tonight, let you know how things are going, but 27 pages in, I guess I'm almost halfway to where I need to be today. And that feels really bad. But it's okay. It's fine. We're fine. Okay, y'all, it is 9:55 p.m., so 10 o'clock at night, and I'm done. I did my 300 pages on audio up here at the top. I didn't even put it in here, but I'm going to write it in here right now. So I did Mine. I got to page 300, and, and in Death on the Danube, I got to page 63 because it was the end of a chapter, so I decided to finish right there. So I did both of those today. So tomorrow I'm continuing with my goal of 300 pages on audio and 63 pages on physical and Kindle. That's putting me above where it's not going to take me the whole month to finish my books, which is fine because I need a couple of days buffer. Like if I don't read that day, or if I only read part and I don't get to finish all of it, because as I discovered today, that is a lot of reading. The 63 pages on the Kindle really took some actual thinking and planning to get that done. But tomorrow I'm going to finish. I've already got my little things in here for the 2 books that I started today. And then tomorrow I get to add my Grady Hendrix in here. I'm not going to do it till I officially start it, but I have 4 hours left I have the difference in 300. I'm on page 300 in Mine. And the total page number is 478. So I have 178 pages left in that. So about half of what I read today is in that. And then the other half, or the other 122 pages, is going to be in Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. And I went and did the math on that, and I'm going to stop when I have 12 hours and 9 minutes left. Around 12 hours left of Witchcraft for Wayward Girls is where I will stop. But that also means that tomorrow I'm going to be on page, let me do this, 126 in Death on the Danube. It's exactly at chapter 25. I made myself a note over here in my planner so I would know when to stop. And then for mine, I'm going to finish it. And then for witchcraft, I am reading 122 pages technically. So that is what tomorrow looks like. Today is done. I'm going to go ahead and make tomorrow bold, and then I will highlight the day. When I wake up tomorrow, I will highlight the day. But I've done it. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to watch some YouTube while I dig in my Minecraft world and do nothing, like zone out, watch some YouTube, because I feel like I'm going to be really far behind on YouTube by the time this month is over because of all the reading. However, at 11 o'clock, so I have an hour, at 11 o'clock, I am going to go upstairs to bed, and I'm working on Death on the Danube. That's going to be my main reading before bed tonight, just to get me a little bit ahead with those, because I know those are the hardest pages. And then tomorrow I'm working and walking, and then I'll be home working. But tomorrow my work from home, it's not super intense, so I should be able to listen to more of the audios in the afternoon, and we'll just see how it goes. But I'm very happy that today is done. I finished before 10 p.m., starting at midnight last night. That the other thing is, let me put this in here so I will make sure I do it. Mine is going to be an attack on Nala's team. And I'm checking to see if mine is on any of my Aurelium, and it's not. So nothing has to be done for that. So that's good. So I'm going to write that mine is an attack on Nala. So I need to make sure I enter that for Battle of the Bands. I can actually write what it is. It is number 11. So that's what I'm going to put. I'm going to put Battle of the Bands 11. That way I'll know when I go to enter it tomorrow what I was counting it for and all of that stuff. But I'm going to update all the mark-off things tomorrow when I finish it. And then I'll start Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I'm very excited to start it. I am sad. My hold still didn't come through, so I am going to have to use an Audible credit on it. But that's okay. I've liked Grady Hendrix in the past, so hopefully I'll like it this time. And also, I have the physical copy of it. So what I might do is tomorrow afternoon, I can speed up the audiobook because I can read it with my eyes and my ears, which means I can go faster. I've got to take this Barnes & Noble exclusive sticker off. Let me see if I can do that without messing it up. I hate these stickers. Why? That does remind me that today I was having to place an order. Well, I wasn't placing the order. I was making the order, like getting everything ready for the supplies that we need at the library for processing books. I'm not authorized to actually place the order, but my boss wanted to know what all we needed because I do the processing. So, that worked really well. Anyway, the supplier that we get our stuff from, anybody can buy from them. And I was like, listen, I might have to buy me some supplies and get my library all processed and looking good, looking like a real library. Anyway, okay, there we go. I got the sticker off. Yes, you can still see a little bit of residue, but I also know how to clean that off. So I don't know, because the cover of this book is a little different than the regular covers, because apparently it's a Barnes & Noble exclusive. Anyway, okay, I'm going to stop rambling about that. That's annoying to me. But anyway, so I have this. I will let y'all know what I decide to do tomorrow, but that is today's update. I'm very happy. And I'm excited to go watch some YouTube now and not read for just a little bit. I'm already worried about how long this vlog is going to be. Anyway, it's the next morning. It's the 2nd. And I just finished. It's 8:42 a.m. I just finished mine. So I went upstairs last night at 11 o'clock. So I did stay down here and watch some YouTube. I went up at 11. I'll go ahead and start my thing telling me how long I slept so we can talk about that. But when I got upstairs, I read Death on the Danube, and I'm on page 98. I only have to get to 126, and I already got to page 98 last night. And I only read for like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. And then I switched to mine and I started listening to it, and I didn't finish it last night. I still had about 20, 30 minutes left this morning. And so I finished it this morning. Actually, I finished it like right now. But according to my watch, I went to sleep at 1:16 a.m. So I didn't stay up too late. The night before, I went to sleep at 1:49 a.m. So, and I had to get up early. It says my current sleep schedule averages about 12:30 at night to 8:30 in the morning. But I got almost 6.5 hours last night. So I wish that I could get up earlier and go to sleep a little bit earlier, but I'm satisfied with where I am in that right now. So anyway, I'm finished with mine. And before I get started and sucked into like work things, I'm going straight to the Discord and I will be entering my stuff right now. So I'm already at the graphics and like how to enter your submission form. And so that's what this is. I'm about to put this in. I love the team pictures. That's so funny, the team pictures. There's my team Nico. He looks hilarious. Okay, so I'm going to enter this for what I read, which I already know. I'm attacking Team Nala for prompt number 11, which we said last night. A book you've committed to read. Okay, so that was already on my TBR. All right, so I'm going to fill out the rest of this, but it's officially done. Then I'm going to go over to my team chat and tell them that I have officially done and finished and entered my first book, because entering the book is the thing that I'm not the greatest at. I've also been tracking things over here on storygraph. Somebody showed me in the Discord their like storygraph monthly wrap up thing, and I was like, what are they doing over there? So I'm back. I'm back on storygraph for a little while to see what I can figure out over here. See if I like it better over here. I already know that there's things about it that I like better than Goodreads. So, and they have an app now. So I have an app on my phone. Before there wasn't an app, and that was a little bit annoying. Anyway, we're not here to talk about all of that. I did want to talk about one thing. I got a comment. It said, first of all, she was very sweet about saying, like, I'm not trying to be offensive at all. I have a legitimate question. Okay, here's the question. If you're stressing about getting everything read that you need to, do you actually enjoy the act of reading when you are reading? And first of all, I told her in the comments, I was like, this is an incredibly valid question. Like, because if I saw somebody else freaking out about something as ridiculous as reading, I'm sure that I would be like, is this even fun? Like, you seem stressed. Is this fun? Well, number one, that kind of stress, like the fun kind of excited stress, like, gives me enjoyment. I don't know how to put it other than it makes me excited and happy. And that kind of stress is not really stressful. And I do love it when I'm reading. There have been very, very few times, and they're almost always in readathons when it is getting close to the end of the month and I have some like have to do books that I'm like, this is not fun, but I have to do this book and I don't like it. And not that I don't enjoy the book. I am done reading. Like, I'm over the reading and I'm forcing myself to do it. And so those moments, that is not enjoyable. But what I have learned, and I even did this. So the last time I did one of Jake's readathons, Jake is doing Battle of the Bands. And one of the things that you get to do as part of his readathon is if you finish every single prompt, you're on a list of people that have always finished every prompt in every readathon. And I have been on that list. Sometimes because I read something just because I had to, and that feeling again, it was not enjoyable. I didn't want to do it. But the last time they had a readathon, I made the conscious decision to stop. I'm like, I'm not finishing this. I don't want to. I'm not enjoying it. I'm going to have to cram and it's not going to be fun to read. So I decided to just not. And I took the books. There were other books that I had already read. And so I don't even know if I fulfilled all of the prompts with other books that I had read instead of sticking with my TBR. I don't remember what happened because, again, I was so stressed out about the whole thing that I was like, not the good kind of stress. So I was like, I don't want to do that. And I just made the decision, like, I'm not doing this anymore. Reading is fun. If it becomes not fun, I don't want to do it that way anymore. I need to come up with a new way of doing it. So I did comment. I responded back to the comment and said a small version of this to her. But ultimately, can I squeeze something in? Can I rearrange my schedule to make this thing work? That kind of stuff is more fun than it is real stress. It's like excited stress. That's the only way I know how to say it. So anyway, that reminds me though, that during these vlogs, I can do like a question of the vlog or something. And it doesn't have to be as serious as that one, but it can be if you want it to. So feel free to leave me any questions down below. And when I'm filming next week's vlog, I will see them and I will answer your question. So I will check back in after I've read some things, but I'm very, very happy with how things are going this far into it, on day 2. I'm very happy about it. Okay. I am right here in the Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I really like this book. 127 pages. I was supposed to read 122, and 122 was like almost at the end of a chapter. So I went ahead and went to the end of that. So I'm at the beginning of chapter 11. I did do a little bit of immersion reading this afternoon. It is 9:11 p.m. and I'm done for the day. I have read to page 126 in Death on the Danube, which I am going to finish it tomorrow. And so that will be another attack on the same team as mine was an attack on. And then I'm reading 300 pages in this book. So all the way to where the white paper is where I'm supposed to be tomorrow. So from here to here on audio is what I'm reading in this book. I like it because the narrator or the person that's reading right now, there's apparently a couple of voice actors that do it, but the main one that's telling most of the story her voice is very easy to understand. And especially when I'm immersion reading, I can speed it up to 3 times speed and follow along really easily with what I'm reading. So that was nice to do for a little bit, and hopefully I'll get a chance to do that tomorrow. I am working at the library, but in the evening. So I'm going to the gym in the morning and then to the library after that. So it shouldn't be a big deal. I'm still going to go upstairs tonight around 11-ish. And my plan is to read on my Kindle again for the Danube book. So we had to get like 30% of the way through the book before there was ever a murder or a death that they thought was accidental and now they think might be murder. I mean, we know it is because the whole point of the whole book. But so anyway, our main character was an investigative journalist before she wouldn't give up her source. And so she was fired and kind of kicked out of the journalism career. She can't get a job anywhere because the place she worked for was sued for libel, and because she wouldn't give up her informant, they lost the case and she got fired. So anyway, she's going to use some of that investigative skill to see if she can figure out what's going on. So that's what's happening with that book. There has been quite a bit of information about Budapest specifically, and about like the different architectural structures there and the things that are in the city of Budapest. So that'd be cool if you wanted to know anything about that. And then Witchcraft for Wayward Girls takes place in Florida. Mine, that I finished reading last night, takes place in New York, as does all of the Black Dagger Brotherhood books. And so that's it. That's where I am so far. That's how things are going. I think that this weekend, if I have an opportunity on Saturday or Sunday, I might try to get a little bit ahead just so I'm prepped more for next week. But I think this has still been a really good idea and plan, because now I'm finished. It's 9:15. I'm going to turn on YouTube and watch some YouTube videos and just wait until I go upstairs tonight before I read anymore. So that is my check-in and where I am with everything. And so I will finish Death on the Danube tomorrow, and that's the only thing I'm reading on my Kindle tomorrow, because that's going to be the 60-ish pages that I need to read. We'll finish out the book. So I'll be done with that one, and that means on Friday I will start my next physical or Kindle book. I'm not even sure what it is, but we'll all see together tomorrow on the Canva board that I have. So that's it. Day 2, done. Things are going well so far. And I'll see y'all in the morning or sometime tomorrow. Okay, y'all. First of all, let me get out of the way. It is the 3rd, April 3rd. I've done everything that I have wanted to do. What I want to do, though, is say that tomorrow we're going to make it be this green color that I just like for no reason. And I'm still trying to figure out how much I need to read tomorrow, because, okay, so I'm also not quite done. I have like 8 pages that I need to read to finish what I am doing in Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I've got to get to the end of this chapter that I'm on right now. That's what I have to do. And then tomorrow I'm finishing this book, which will be 55 pages. And that means roughly, if I'm reading 300 pages and I read 50 pages of that, then I have 250 pages left. And the next book, which is Rolling in the Deep, is only 100, it's written right here, 128 pages. So I'm going to finish Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, start and finish Rolling in the Deep tomorrow, and then start into the Drowning Deep. Now, I did get a comment that said, like, hey, these stories they do take place in the same world and they're mildly connected, but you don't have to read one before the other. But I had already made my little thing. So I've got my cover of Rolling in the Deep, and I'm going to put it on Friday, because I am going to go upstairs tonight and listen to more of Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. But even if I finish it, which I don't think I am, because I am so tired, I'll tell you all that in a minute. But even if I finish it, I'm not starting Rolling in the Deep. But in Rolling in the Deep and Into the Drowning Deep, I should be starting both of those tomorrow. Now, what I'm also going to do, I'm marking up here, this was for Battle of the Bands, number 13, and OR, which means Aurelium. And so tomorrow, let me just write down first what I'm going to do. So first of all, Witchcraft, I'm going to finish. Then Rolling in the Deep, I'm going to finish. Then Into the Drowning Deep, I'm going to start. So if and I'm getting to page 117 on that book tomorrow, but I need to see how far that is on audio, and I'll have to do math to do that. Okay, so that's the audio, the 300 pages on audio. Then physically, so what I've been doing the last 2 nights is I've been going upstairs and reading on my Kindle to kind of kickstart the next day, getting some of those Kindle pages done. And last night I finished Death on the Danube while I was upstairs before I even went to sleep. But I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was not reading. I was listening to music and watching videos and not reading, but I stayed up till almost 3 in the morning, and so I didn't get a lot of sleep. Today has just not been the best. So it's exactly 10 o'clock. My alarm just went off, and I'm about to go upstairs. I'm going to take a shower, and then hopefully I can just go straight to sleep. I might listen to Witchcraft a little bit, but probably not. I'll probably just go straight to sleep. But since this book is physical that I'm reading next, I also can't read it upstairs. So I have 2 things that I need to get done tomorrow as far as like my work at home stuff. And then I'm working 8 hours at the library tomorrow. So I'm going to take this with me, and hopefully during little breaks at the library, I can read a few pages here and there and at least get some of that done, because tomorrow's going to be a really hard day to get everything done that I need to get done, as well as my work stuff. So let me make a note for what I'm going to be finishing tomorrow. Oh, that just means that for Gate, I'm reading, well, I need to read 63 pages, and chapter 6 is on page 64. So I'm going to be reading exactly 63 pages, which will be nice. I'm going to read 5 chapters of that book tomorrow. Okay, so that is what I'm doing. Now I need to make a note for what everything goes for. So over here, if I'm looking over here, I've already marked off, well, I'm kind of blocking it a little bit, but I've already marked off that I finished these 2 books. They're now lighter than everything else. On this page, I'm only making the books dark when I start reading them. So tomorrow I will make these 2 dark, but I'm starting this one and this one, so I made them dark. Okay, for Aurelium Academy, Gate. Oh, I got to put Gate on here as well because I'm starting it tomorrow. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to start it today, right? No. Okay. Where is it? Oh, I have a separate section for the physical books. I was like, where is Gate? Okay. The next one I'm reading is Sympathy for the Devil. So there's the Gate one. Wow, I'm starting it tomorrow. Why does it feel not right? That does not feel... That's right. That's right. Okay. Calm down, Amanda. That's right. Okay. Well, I'm starting 3 books tomorrow. But I'm also finishing 2 books tomorrow. Okay. So Gate to Kagoshima is an Aurelium Academy book. And you might notice, because Witchcraft for Wayward Girls is also an Aurelium Academy book, because one of you guys suggested that I replace the music word with One Hit Wonder and then pick something else for intended to read. So that's what I did. Okay, then we have Death on the Danube. I've already entered it as being read. That's why there's a star there. I can't put the star until it's been entered. And then Into the Drowning Deep is also an Aurelium book, and Rolling in the Deep. I was going to say not Rolling in the Deep, but yes, Rolling in the Deep is as well. So I'm going to finish 2 of her Moon Warden books tomorrow. That's kind of cool. So anyway, I just want to make sure I have them all written down and ready to go over here. And then the Battle of the Band books. Witchcraft for Wayward Girls is a Battle of the Bands. Okay. And the rest. Gate is, Into the Drowning Deep is, and that's all. Okay. So Into the Drowning Deep is Battle of the Bands. So tomorrow, Grady Hendrix is the only Battle of the Band book that I'm going to finish. I'm going to start 2 more, but not finish. So I will get to attack Team Ian tomorrow. Okay, and then I'm going to finish 2 Aurelium books tomorrow. That's really nice. Okay, I feel good about where we are and what is going on. I just have to figure out how many pages Into the Drowning Deep, like what the equivalent of that is on audio. So I'll show you what I do. I set it up like a ratio problem. I don't know if y'all remember learning about ratios, but you set up that like this equals this, but one of them is a variable that you don't know, so it's an X. I'm sorry if you don't like don't like algebra type things, but anyway. So it's right here. It says on audio that it is 17 hours and 15 minutes, and I need to figure out how many minutes that is total. So you just do 17 times 60. That's how many minutes, plus the extra 15. So the whole thing is 1,035 minutes, and the whole thing is 448 pages. And I want to see how many minutes is the equivalent of 117 pages. So I'm going to take this number times 117 and then divide it by the total number. And 270 minutes, so I'm going to divide that by 60, is 4.5 hours. So there we go. 4.5 hours of the audiobook. So then what I've been doing is I'm going to be reading 4.5 hours of the audiobook. So then I take the total amount, which is 17.2 0.25 because 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour. So 25. Okay. Minus 4.5. And so I will know to stop reading, and I make my note that says 12 hours and 45 minutes left. And that is how I will know when to stop listening to Into the Drowning Deep. So anyway, that might have been too much for y'all. And I'm sorry. There's one more thing that I want to talk about tonight that one of you asked in a question today. So I'm going to go all the way over here and show you. So she asked me, what if a book is set in multiple places? How do you mark that? Well, I have decided not to mark that, but I will show you how. So you will come over here. Let's say, let me pick one. This one, I DNF'd it. So we will, wait, I did not. Oh, I'm DNFing the series. I was like, I read that book. Okay, we're going to say it's set, because it is set in Oklahoma, and then it's also set in a fantasy place. But what if we say it's also set in Canada, okay? So you're going to right click, and you're going to say insert row, one below. And there you go. It literally just moves everything down. And then you're going to come over here where it says this, and you're going to say, instead of the United States, you're going to say Canada. Okay? But you're not going to put anything in anything else on this whole list, because all you're telling this whole sheet is, hey, you need to add one more book to Canada. The sheet doesn't care what the book is. Now, what you can do is you can highlight everything to the left of that, and up here at the top, you can click on this, and it says merge vertically, and that's what you say yes, and that's what it does. It puts this all on one line. So now Long Live Evil takes up the equivalent of 2 spaces, but it's one line. And then when you get here, it's got US and Canada still split apart. And so then after the US and Canada, you do the same thing. You highlight, click and drag, and do those 2 boxes, and you click on the pull down menu and you say merge vertically, and that does that again. And so the only ones that are not merged is Canada and the US. So you can do it with merging or without merging. Either way, it works, and you have 2 places that the book is set in. You can do that for 7 places. If you have a weird traveling book, you can just list all the places that they go to. If you want to do that. Okay. That is the answer to the question that somebody had today. Again, if y'all have any questions, leave them below. I'm actually going to undo everything I just did, and I will check in with y'all tomorrow. It's going to be my hardest day so far. Y'all, wait, what's wrong with my camera? How is my whole thing moved? Okay, first of all, don't talk about my hair. Second of all, it is 10:27 p.m. I just finished the audio of Into the Drowning Deep as far as I'm supposed to go today. And because I'm supposed to get right here to page 117, that's where I am, which means what is 117 plus 300 would be 417. Okay. So, that's this whole book. 417 is like right there. That many pages left to the end. Just that many. So does that mean I'm supposed to finish Into the Drowning Deep tomorrow and then nothing else? First of all, I'm so tired, even though I slept so long last night. Second of all, let's see, 448 Into the Drowning Deep. So 417 still leaves me with some pages left, like 30 pages. So maybe I won't finish it tomorrow, and then I'll finish it and start Beartown right afterwards. Okay, so let's go over what happened today. I finished Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. It was so good, but it's not a horror book. Like, I would argue that it's not a horror book. If it was maybe thrilling in moments, it definitely had tension in it. I mean, I don't know. If we're talking about gross, like gory things, there is some self-mutilation that happens because of the whole, when you want something, you have to sacrifice something. And so that kind of stuff was in there, and that was pretty gross. So maybe that is part of the problem, or part of the reason it's a horror book. But otherwise, I don't really know. It didn't feel horror to me. Now, Rolling in the Deep was scary, but I mean, it's so what it is this boat has decided to make a mockumentary. It's not a boat, a company has decided to make a mockumentary, right? So a documentary that's not completely true. That's what they're doing. And it's about finding mermaids in the Mariana Trench. So this group goes out and there's half scientist, half crew, and then half like television people that are videoing the whole thing. What some of them don't know at the beginning, they find out right before the ship takes off, is that the television people have also paid some mermaids to show up and go on the expedition with them. And what the guy said was, we're not going to tell any of our filmers, any of our camera guys, when the mermaids will be swimming. So any mermaids that are caught on camera will be completely by surprise. Like that was the way they were making it around so that they could say that every time they caught a mermaid on camera, it was a shock. So that's their plan. Turns out there's actual mermaids and they're not pleased about what's happening. So that was Rolling in the Deep. And now into the Drowning Deep, we have the sister of one of the people that was on that original ship that wants to know what happened to her sister 7 years later. So she's part of a new expedition that's going out, but this time strictly for science, strictly to find out what happened. They have so much footage of all the cameras and everything that captured the whole entire, everything that happened was captured. But the humanity thinks it's a hoax. So there's a very few people that are like, oh no, this is real and they exist and we've got to find out more about them. Most people think they're a hoax. So our people into the Drowning Deep are now trying to go out and prove that they are real and also figure out what's going on with them. So I'm 117 pages into that one. And now apparently tomorrow I'm going to get to page 417. So I need to put that over here, that I'm going to read Drowning to page 417. Now, let's talk about the Gate of Kagoshima. I am on page 19. Y'all, I'm on page 19. And guess where I'm supposed to be? All the way to right here on page 64. So that means that tomorrow, 64 and 64 is 128. So, well, because it's at the end of a chapter, I'm going to say 125 is what page I need to be on tomorrow. Okay, so I have to read to chapter 10 tomorrow. I'm on chapter 2. Let me see. Yes, chapter 2. But I didn't want to sit and read tonight. I wanted to play and listen. I still have not gotten to watch YouTube. Like, trying to read all these pages every day is harder than I expected it to be. I mean, there's part of me that's like, oh, this is easier than I expected. Also, I'm having a hot flash in my ear right here, because my hair is down. I'm trying to grow my hair out, but I'm also 47 years old. And so my hair is like, hey, guess what? It's real hot to have hair. It's real hot. So listen, if you have female reproductive organs that will cause you to go through menopause, I'm just saying that I'm sorry. If you do not, find you a person who does and say how sorry you are about menopause being a thing. Anyway, oh my gosh, my ear is on fire. Okay, so the Gate tomorrow. I'm going to read to page 124. That's what I'm putting in here. Okay. And then tomorrow, because I'm not doing it tonight, but tomorrow I need to enter everything for Witchcraft and Rolling and then finish Drowning. No, not finish Drowning, but get close. And that means on Sunday, when I kick off my new week of vlogs, I will finish Drowning and start Beartown. So that's what's next. I'm not sure how I feel about starting Beartown, but whatever. I'm real excited, I guess, about it. Okay, let me change my color over here since this day is now past. And let me pick my green again for tomorrow. That is not the right color green. I need it to be a little darker. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, y'all. This is so much harder than I thought it would be. And I'm just a week into it and I'm so tired already. Anyway, tomorrow's going to be a really good day for me to catch up on the reading. I'm going to be doing sprints on my channel and I've got nothing to do here until dinner tomorrow night. So I'm just going to be sprinting, cleaning the house, reading The Gate to Kagoshima. It's not a bad read. I just don't physically want to read a book. Anyway, that's it. I'll check in with y'all tomorrow. I'm going to bed. Good night. Okay, y'all. It is the end of the day on Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. And tomorrow's also when I'm going to be closing out this week's vlog. But I'm going to wait till after. I know I'm calling it a vlog and it's really just a review of all the books that I've read. But whatever. Give me this. Anyway, Into the Drowning Deep. Look how close I am to being done. I had to stop on page 403, and I didn't mean that I had to stop there. I mean, that's what I had to get to, was page 403, which is chapter 34, and there's 438 pages left in the book. I'm like, why don't I finish this book? But it's 11:15 at night, and I finished for the day, Into the Drowning Deep. I also am right here in Gate to Kagoshima. I am on page 125. And that's chapter 11. And tomorrow I have to be on chapter 17. Now I will say, so I got where I needed to get in here, which was to page 124. Yes, 124. And then reading 63-ish pages will get me to 195 tomorrow, which is chapter 17. And then I'm not sure. I will not finish it the next day. Wow. I'm going to be reading this book for a long time. Anyway, I also today, since I was behind and I didn't really have a ton of actual reading time with this, I got the audiobook on Spotify, which didn't cost me any money, but it's not on Libby. So I couldn't get this on Libby initially. And then somebody else mentioned that it was on Spotify. And I was like, let me look and see if I can find it. So I used it for part of the time today when I couldn't sit down and physically read this. So what I'm thinking I might do is when I go upstairs to go to bed tonight, I might go ahead and listen on Spotify to part of this just to give me a little bit of a head start tomorrow for how much of this I need to read. But I just need to get to 195 tomorrow. And then I'm going to finish Into the Drowning Deep, which I'm not going to finish it until tomorrow, y'all, because it is too tense. It is too, intense maybe, for me to listen to this close to bed. So I need something that is not Killer Mermaids. I mean, there have been multiple times today where Wesley has tried to talk to me and I've been like, wait, the mermaids are coming on the ship. Like, I have got to listen. And he thought I was playing a game that had mermaids on a ship. He's like, where are the mermaids? Anyway, so the book is very good, but it is very tense. And I am very tense reading it. So I'm going to do something else. I will start Beartown tomorrow, but I'll come in here and I'll tell you about Into the Drowning Deep when I close out the vlog tomorrow. And we'll see how far I am in the Gate to Kagoshima at that point. But those are my plans for getting these two books done. So far, I like them both, which is really nice. And I'm almost done with The Drowning Deep, so we'll see for sure what I think about that one. But that's everything for tonight. Like I said, it's 11:15, and I am heading up to bed. So I'll check in with y'all in the morning, and week 1 will be done. And so far, so good. Everything's going great so far. Hopefully Beartown doesn't derail us, but it'll be fine. I'll see you in the morning. Okay, I have officially finished Into the Drowning Deep, and I did get where I was supposed to get on Gate of Kagoshima last night. It's so good. Like, I read even a little further than I was supposed to. I started reading and it just was really good. So I was like, let me just keep going. So I'm already on page 210, chapter 19 in Gate to Kagoshima. So I don't have to read any more of that today. I can, But as far as like what I need to read to get my pages in, they're done. Now, Into the Drowning Deep. I stayed upstairs in bed this morning and finished it. Oh my gosh, this is so good as well. Like, I think I'm going to give it 4 stars, maybe 4.5 stars. It was just so good. So, I'm going to put 5 stars on Goodreads, and then I think I'm going to put that I'm at 4.5 when I do storygraph. Okay, and then I'm going to update Kagoshima. Like I said, I'll probably end up talking about it more in the next one. Wow, I'm on page 210. Okay, I'll end up talking more about Gate to Kagoshima because I will be mostly reading that in the next one. And that means that the next book I'm reading is Beartown. So that will kick off the next vlog, reading Beartown, and I will see y'all next week with that one, and we'll see how far I get with everything else. But so far, so good. My page count is working out. It is taking me all day to do it, and there was one day that I didn't get my physical pages in. But as of right now, it's looking good. I do have an idea for what I can do if I start to fall behind on the page numbers. And so I'll just talk about that and deal with that when and if it happens. But like right now, I have the audiobook version that I can always use as well as this version on this book. That's not going to be the case for the next book, Sympathy for the Devil. That's not going to be the case. I'm not going to have the option of an audiobook. So I have an idea of what I can do. Okay, but that's going to do it for this week. It was a great week, and I'm really happy with the way things have gone. I hope that y'all have been reading some really good books this week, or that you have read one really good book, or you're in the middle of one really good book. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.